So yeah, we're gonna get into the Snyderverse. So he actually came out on March 15th on Twitter and announced a full circle event through April 28th through the 30th. So it's a weekend event, and it was narrated by Darkseid. And I was scrolling through his Twitter, and then he showed that Jim Lee was doing sketches for it. You guys don't know Julius; he's like the goat of Batman for art, and I believe writing too. I'm pretty sure he wrote. Yeah. Sketches for full circle event. It's like a benefit for mental health prevention. Because actually, I'm not sure if you recall, but his daughter actually.
Yeah, during all. Unalived.
Yeah, she.
Just cut it,
Yeah, I did. I will. Well, I guess I did if you're watching this. But yeah, so yeah, that he's hosting that for mental health, and then this is what I found interesting. So he's gonna do a screening for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's gonna be Man of Steel Friday, Batman v Superman the Ultimate Edition Saturday, and then the Snyder Cut for Justice League on Sunday. But after every movie, he is hosting a Q&A, and he's going to be live streaming it on YouTube or wherever, and he's going to have special guests on throughout that. So that's the part where it intrigued me. At first, it's like, oh, this is a cool
Henry's
thing.
definitely going to show
Henry
up.
is 1,000% going to show up. Probably Ben Affleck, too, because Ben kept giving praise about Snyder. He's like, if he wants me on another Batman project or anything, he's like, I'm down. He kept saying that, so and I agree. I think Zack Snyder,
the Snyderverse, they try. It had some good things that I like. I think there were some swings and misses, but nothing's gonna be perfect.
I think it was gone too soon. But again, that we'll get into.
And
that
like something happened, something very traumatic happened in the middle of it.
Who can deal with that?
Yes, I couldn't even fathom trying to like fucking put together a fucking masterpiece.
God, this whole first half is just gonna be blacked out. But yeah, so I'm actually really curious. I want to see what you think. I put here possible Snyderverse to the Netflix, like a Netflix exclusive series.
If they that would be but wouldn't Warner Brothers have to sign off on that?
Yeah.
And that they wouldn't like hamstring their own project, but like if Snyderverse did like some actual content, that would basically kill whatever James Gunn was.
1,000%.
Especially if it was
James
good.
Gunn's been quiet.
Especially if it's good. Like if they do
the Snyder Cut was amazing. I remember everyone.
I don't know. I don't know if amazing is the word, but the ending was way fucking better than the.
Quick chill.
Yeah, sorry. I'm very passionate about this the DC, but that ending was so much better than the one they had. Like after seeing the Snyderverse ending, it's like how did that other they're like just cut that.
I don't understand.
I literally
that is the biggest.
The only thing that makes sense to me is like Josh Whedon was just bitter, and I want to do my ending and not this.
That's
ending.
1,000% what
because clearly that ending's not even close. It don't even make sense.
No.
And without that ending, Flash is basically pointless throughout the whole movie. Like basically, Josh Whedon's whole movie, Flash is pointless.
He's just some funny.
The
guy.
only cool scene was when like he's running and Superman can see him, and he's like, "Oh," and he trips because no one's ever been able to see him, type of thing. But that's like the only redeeming scene he has, except for the end to me personally. But yes, it's just Josh Whedon. I had a lot of high praise for the Snyderverse. I thought it was obviously too long.
Yeah.
But I think it was too long because they had to do all the scenes where they took the mother box in that movie. I always said, and we did this before, I would have had him take Steppenwolf taking the mother box in the end credit scene or the beginning scene or the end scene
of Wonder Woman,
of one of the Batman movies, and in Aquaman. Like after the end of Aquaman, he wins and he's the leader of Atlantis or whatever. Steppenwolf, like the final scene is him like sleeping down there, and they show up. And they just take the box.
Use Easter egg at every solo movie
because that would have took an hour out of the movie, and I think then the Snyderverse would have been much more.
Oh
logical.
1,000%.
But yeah, I know I went off on a little tangent, but yes, I think they would cripple it because I think if Henry Cavill's in it, the fans will rally behind it for sure. So that would really kill them. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I don't think Warner Brothers would let them do another like the Superman. They definitely own.
No, realistically, what I think it is, I think we're gonna see all the cast sprinkled in throughout the event, and then they're gonna do a Q&A and stuff like that. But I truly don't think it's gonna involve the new DC thing. No. Maybe the most likely thing that can happen is, I don't know why they would do it, but just for the sake of it, that wouldn't be that impactful, is they allowed Zack Snyder to do like a Ray Fisher Cyborg show. Because that's the only like minor character.
Yeah, or like I guess they were doing their own Green Lantern. I don't know. Well, it's just in shambles right now.
Yeah.
And there's too many things like directors that didn't really get their fair shake. Henry didn't get his fair shake because Zach didn't get to bring his vision to light.
To full. That's my biggest point about the
story
Snyderverse
that never was, and it's like
it's the unknown. It wasn't like we saw it like we actually just did a Marvel episode. Like we saw everything fleshed out. Like it was still being in the process. I do have qualms about Snyder myself. Like I found out that the Robin who died was Dick Grayson, which I thought was stupid, but that's easily a setup for Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Shout out to our TikTok, by the way. They did confirm that for me because I wasn't sure. So follow us on TikTok so you guys can keep me up to date as well. But yeah, that was a real big L in my opinion. But the amount of potential the Snyderverse had was, I think, right here. Like it was the amount of potential it could have done, and it was like you said, it was early on. They had a rough start,
and they were directly competing with Marvel in its peak. When all this, I'm like, not at the beginning. Like this was at the the peak of Marvel, and they really had to deliver, and it just didn't.
Yeah,
and
it was hard. They were trying to rush
and
it.
Was they were trying to they were just trying to do it too much, and I think it failed.
They were trying to catch up 8 years ahead of
exactly. Instead of taking their 10 years, they were trying to catch them.
Yeah.
By being bigger and better, and it kind of flopped. I wouldn't say flopped, but they kind of fell on their face.
It was very lackluster.
Yes, and I think they should have just took their time and built their universe, and they would have been in a much better place moving forward. And now they're just, luckily for them, Marvel's kind of on the decline, so they got some room.
Oh, DC's gonna come in.
But like I said, they've got a lot of pressure, and I don't think for a second Warner Brothers would approve any kind of Snyder anything, because that would basically hamstring James Gunn.
Burn it to the ground.
He's doing.
It'd burn it to the ground.
Because I think people are really spiteful right now, and I think the people are ready to rally behind Henry. I really think they need to rethink not having Henry Cavill.
Yeah, we'll discuss that in a bit here. I do want to get into